responses were inadequate. Perhaps in the future, your queries should be more specific. The ripples of your recent accomplishment have been felt by many.
Where did you come from? How come I've never heard of you before?
I am from the Commonwealth, and I prefer to keep a low profile unless circumstances dictate otherwise.
That doesn't really answer my questions.
If my responses were inadequate, perhaps in the future, your queries should be more specific.
Chief, just getting our new head of military caught up on HQ procedure.
It is a different structure than what I'm accustomed to, so the orientation is appreciated.
Still haven't told me what you are accustomed to.
New guys, right?
It would be wise to grow our military while I work on decoding the intel we recovered from the Gunner Overpass. I believe I now understand the process in which orders are assigned and processed within your HQ. So, perhaps we should get started.
For orders to be processed, you're gonna need way more people than we have right now. Unless you're planning on winning this war all by yourself.
If that were feasible, it would present a more efficient option. But you are correct. More officers will be required in the long run. Though, I have certain proposals in mind that shouldn't take much time or manpower to accomplish.
We can always use more experienced soldiers.
Indeed. Train military personnel that are able to make judgments and carry out advanced orders. The more veteran officers I have, the more we'll be able to do with our troops.
What do you think we should do?
I've submitted 2 proposals. One has to do with our standards of recruitment, and the other offers an alternate goal for assaults on enemy targets.
What exactly are we looking for?
Once our number of outposts begins to grow, and we require more people to staff them, it's going to be more difficult for you to personally see to recruitment.
Frankly, it's already a waste of your time. Delegation should be a priority.
There is benefit to recruiting yourself, of course, as you are able to handpick who fights for you. For filling out the ranks, however, it's best to leave that in the hands of your outposts. The proposal I submitted is a basic standardization of equipment and training that rookies will be given upon recruitment. Eventually, we'll be able to recruit specialized troops as well.
Sounds good.
Review the proposals and approve them when you're able. They will allow us to proceed.
I'm going back to work. Looks like you two have everything handled.
Yes, your insight has been invaluable. Thank you, Aiden.
Huh. You're welcome. Keep your ears to the ground.
I can
How's
take
it going?
news of your
I
victories.
knew we hadn't seen
I
the
am a
last of the
little
gunners.
envious.
This is too soon. The only explanation is that someone else out there is pulling the strings. Whatever. You need something?
How's it going?
You'll know when something's wrong.
How's it going?
Nothing comes to mind.
Can we chat?
Mansfield keeps offering to buy me a drink. I'd accept, but I think he expects me to drink it with him. Too social for my tastes.
Anything you want to talk about?
Give the staff somewhere for R&R. A bar or something. I don't want twitchy trigger fingers.
I take it your next report's ready.
Nothing to report.
What's on your mind?
Hey, next time you talk with Teresa, could you ask her... never mind. Forget it.
I'll see you later.
hurt you or nothing.
I didn't think he was going to hurt me.
Scare you?
Aw, don't feel bad,
The
big
tales
guy.
of your
Take it as a
exploits
compliment.
are impressive.
See? He ain't so scary up close. Well, okay. Maybe he's a tad scary up close, but it ain't like he's gonna hurt you or nothing.
I didn't think he was going to hurt me.
Scare you?
Aw, don't feel bad, big...
Hey there.
Hey, Chief. I got a bone to pick with you. And Sal, too.
It's nothing bad. She just means there's some stuff with the Outpost that we wanted to talk to you about.
I said what I meant.
They did bring up some valid concerns. It would be in the best interest of our military to hear them out. If you're ready, I think you should hear what Teresa and Lupe have to say.
Anything to report?
I've made some headway in decrypting the intelligence we've gathered, but we can speak of it later. In the meantime, there are some immediate concerns to address.
So, this outpost you and Sal set up. Did either of you actually think about the people that are gonna be posted there?
Of course. After all, soldier combat readiness is of the utmost priority.
Wrong. The utmost priority is making sure you even have soldiers there to begin with. And if you want people to join up without the chief having to bring them in, you're gonna have to make the place livable first. Or at least inhabitable.
What needs to change?
It's really not that complicated. If you want recruits to roll in on their own, you need to make sure that they'd have their own bunks, and that there's someone around to sign them on. An ASAM plot will take care of the second one for you, but the first, you're gonna have to keep an eye on yourself. I mean, honestly, soldiers ain't that picky. They can get most of the stuff they need from nearby settlements when on leave. But having a place to sleep on base, that's essential.
You've already approved standardized equipment and training. This should help pave the way for setting up recruitment centers in our outposts.
Makes sense.
Well, anyway, that brings us to the second thing. Hey kid, you're up.
Oh, right. Well, you already know outposts are all military and whatnot. Civilian things would just get in the way. But they'll still need supplies and, you know, power and stuff. The good news is that we're kinda used to managing logistics by now. So, if there are any settlements with surplus near an outpost, they'll share enough to keep it running.
Thanks. I always appreciate good advice.
I'm glad that helps. It is a little different from how we usually do things, but we'll make sure to stay on top of it.
As I previously said, these are all important things to address. I admit, I've rarely had access to such long-term infrastructure or supply networks.
Yeah, well, you're playing for our team now. That means you got people who can handle the behind-the-scenes stuff. I told you you'd like working for us.
You have told me that. Yes.
Was there anything else?
I do have one last matter to address. It's important that you understand the various roles our troops will fulfill while assigned at an outpost. There are 4 major roles, and assignment is largely automatic. However, you can speak to the soldiers to reassign them. You have the final say in who performs what duty. The most active role will be that of the warriors, who will accompany you to any assault. However, there is also guards, patrols, and support. Do you wish me to explain them in greater depth?
Tell me more.
Oh, let me guess. Guards protect the outpost. Maybe even while everyone else is off fighting?
Correct. That is a good explanation.
Oh, thanks. And, patrols. Keep an eye on the area?
Correct again. Patrols will secure the area surrounding the outpost and come to the aid of any nearby settlement that comes under attack. They won't be called away for assaults either.
Look at you, kid. Careful, Chief. Lupe might be next in line for your position.
Who knows?
Oh, I don't think so. That would be way too much responsibility.
Indeed, you are far too young for such a position. But I suspect that could be the very reason Teresa made the remark, as it would be humorous.
Always funnier when you explain it, Sal. Anyway, I guess support is just whoever's staying back to keep the outpost running and do all the other jobs.
Yes, that is a sufficient explanation of the roles.
That's a lot to process.
Managing all these tasks will contribute to the effectiveness of our troops in warfare. It's time to discuss what I've managed to glean from the intelligence we recovered from the gunner outpost on the overpass. It appears they've set Vault 95 as their communication hub for coordinating the Stingrays. Assaulting it won't be easy, and we'll need to ensure we have enough able soldiers. It would be prudent to attend to any outstanding needs our outposts might have before proceeding. However, the call is yours.
It's my top priority.
I'm glad to see you're taking our people into account. I know there's a war on, but we'll be better off if we don't lose sight of all the folks making these battles winnable, you know?
Yeah. Everyone's working really, really hard. We should take care of them as best we can. There's really a lot to do. I thought it might be a good idea to make some notes for you. Maybe it'll help keep track of everything?
Regardless of your next steps, we'll await your command to attack Vault 95 when you deem us ready.
Yeah? What do you want?
You're making a real difference to the Commonwealth. A force for progressive change. I hope you know how much it is appreciated. Hello.
Hi.
I await your instructions.
Hey!
Just saying hello.
Hey!
I take it your next report's ready.
You might be surprised to hear, but I ain't got nothing to complain to you about. Everything's good with admin.
What's on your mind?
Lupe's a sweet kid, and hella smart for someone her age. She likes to downplay her intelligence, but she ain't fooling me.
I'll see you later.
It is
Hi.
good to see you.
Movement detected. Possible stealth unit in the AO.
This appears to be the command room. Conduct a thorough search for any intel. We must identify where the gunners are housing communications.
Who? I'm through. What the? Some sort of code.
If I may, I would like to examine that. I recognize this sequence. It's an old pre-war cipher, used for encrypting internal comms. Evidently, the gunners didn't expect anyone else to know it. These papers speak of a strategy for using stingrays to maintain pressure on us, distracting us, while they search for some sort of technology in the Commonwealth. The gunners also appear to be in a hurry to accomplish this before we discover a vulnerability that they aim to exploit.
Do you have any more details?
The details are vague, although I believe they have not yet found a way to take advantage of this vulnerability. If that is indeed the case, then it is all the more essential that we destroy their Stingray operations before the gunners can exploit this flaw.
It doesn't matter now. Let's do what we came to do.
Yes, it's best to stay on course and consider this information once we've secured the vault. Judging by this map, and the assumed computing power required to run encrypted communications to stingrays, our next objective is likely in the lower level, near the generators.
Scanners detecting sentient life. Alert level elevated. Negative sensor read. Weapons cold.
Busted.
Won't be causing any more trouble. Impressive. No matter the obstacle, you appear to possess the determination and skill to progress. This is it. It appears they've taken more care in encrypting these documents. Taken together with the intel we've already recovered, we may be able to uncover the last of the Stingray operations. Vault 95 is secure. All objectives accomplished. If there are any remaining gunners, our troops will conduct a final sweep. Good work today, Chief. I will meet you back at HQ to debrief.
Who? Engaging hull.
You're dead!
Surgery in a well-stocked lab is far less stressful than some of the...
Your leadership continues to elevate us. Regardless, your efforts are commendable.
Well, things have certainly been lively here ever since this war started, I'll give it that.
Is that a joke you are making? It's been difficult to tell when speaking with you.
Normally it would be, but in this case, I only meant that the infirmary sees activity all hours of the day. Before the gunners returned, I actually had time for tea every now and again.
Are you doing okay, Cassandra? You were in surgery for a long time yesterday.
Such a sweet girl, Lupe, worrying for an old woman. But surgery in a well-stocked lab is far less stressful than some of the field conditions I've had to work under before.
Regardless, your efforts are commendable.
Ah, welcome home. I was hoping to address something rather urgent. Namely, the uptick in injuries sustained since we've started going on the offensive against the gunners.
Injuries and casualties are unavoidable. If we are to succeed in pushing back against the gunners, we cannot let this slow our pushback.
Naturally. However, if you're going to keep the pressure up, you'll need to keep everyone on their feet. There's no rushing recovery. An injured soldier will only be a liability.
Are you okay with that?
It is what it is. I hardly see a difference between an injury sustained during a construction incident and one taken from enemy fire.
A pragmatic approach. I can see how it would help you maintain focus.
I would still, of course, prefer to see as little loss of human life to this conflict as possible. But in truth, it's the volume of patients that is most taxing right now.
So what's the solution?
Ah, straight to the heart of the matter. I do always appreciate that about you. First off, we have to deal with the injuries sustained in the last skirmish. Left alone, they'll heal in time, but time is a luxury even under the best of circumstances. Most of the injured are in bad enough condition that they can't be transported to HQ. They'll have to get treatment and recover at their outposts. By your leave, I can take a trip out and take care of the wounded this time around. In the future, you may want to ensure that outposts have their own doctors. It also wouldn't hurt to have field medics stationed there. They'll follow your assault teams and patch the wounded on the spot. Keep injuries from becoming critical.
Can I lend a hand?
You can attend to them yourself, of course. You're more than capable of it. Just don't wear yourself out, my dear. You're only one person, and you have a war effort to spearhead.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'll head out soon, then. Soldiers are your most valuable asset in this conflict, so do keep an eye on them.
Gee, Cassandra. I didn't expect you to say something so cold.
Did that sound callous? I just find it best to focus on the big picture and count the dead once the conflict is over.
I have to agree with that stance, but you seem distressed by it, Lupe.
It's not... Well, I guess it's just hard to wrap my head around. You two talk like death is just expected. I mean, I know it's going to happen. I just...
Not coming to terms with war right away is nothing to feel troubled about, dear. Now, didn't you have something to tell our chief?
Ah, right. Well, you know those places you've attacked and had taken over? I mean, the smaller ones that we can't really settle or use as an outpost?
Sounds important. Go ahead.
So I was thinking, we can send out teams of scavengers to pick clean any battlefield. You know, grab anything off the fallen enemies and any supplies that are there.
That is a good way to capitalize on our victories. Furthermore, even locations we cannot utilize can still be held for any strategic resources they may hold. That said, such areas are often located in hostile territory, not counting the gunners. Building there would be a waste in the long run, but nearby outposts can send guards to hold them.
You've done good work.
My next priority will be to decode all the intel we've acquired from raiding gunner strongholds. It is my expectation that I can pinpoint the last site supporting their Stingray operations.
Now that you mention it, there is a location nearby that might be worth securing. Heaven knows how quickly we're going through our medical supplies.
And scrap. Honestly, sometimes it scares me how quickly we're going through supplies. But I do know a place where we can get more. So maybe we should do that? While we wait?
Both are good suggestions. I will need at least a day to decode the intel regardless. Return then.
This war is beginning to look like quite the to-do list. How about I update the notes Lupe had made for you? Let you focus without losing track of what needs doing. Stay safe out there.
The Overseer's office is often treated as a Vault's nerve center. It's likely the Gunners have made it their center of operations. We should secure it as soon as possible.
Why, hello.
It is good to see you.
Hi.
I await your instruction.
Hey.
Hello again. Things have been progressing here at an adequate pace. With just me working on decrypting the intel, it has been a laggard process. However, I have enough for us to consider the next steps. How go your own efforts in fortifying and keeping our outpost supplied?
Anything else I can do to help?
The stronger our forces, the more pressure we'll keep on the Gunners. Lupe and Cassandra have advised on how to keep our outpost supplied and our wounded treated. There is still more to do, but we can discuss it once you are ready to proceed.
Not my kind of work.
I see. I expected as much. I believe the last step in dismantling the Gunner Stingray operation lies in the glowing sea. The exact location will take longer for me to uncover, as I need the cross-reference with other intelligence reports to narrow things down. However, one thing is certain. We need our men ready, not only for resistance from the enemy, but also for an extremely hostile environment.
Why? What makes the glowing sea so dangerous?
As you may already be aware, the entire area is blanketed with severe radiation storms. While deadly to humans, mutated creatures such as rat scorpions and ghouls thrive there. There is a good chance our troops will encounter combat, long before they arrive to the gunner base. As such, it is essential to prepare and train our men with these factors in mind.
So much could go wrong. It's too risky.
I agree that there is higher margin for error than any previous battlefield we've conquered. However, we can overcome those odds with the right preparations. There are a number of things to attend to, but one will be of the utmost priority. That is, further training and specialization of soldiers. There are two ways for a soldier to improve effectiveness in combat: training at the outpost and combat experience. That said, training can never replicate actual battle. It will provide an edge initially, but troops will need to put their skills to use in the field if they're to improve beyond that.
Oh my God!
We could use some more veterans around here.
Indeed. That is precisely what I wanted to bring up next. There are several soldiers who have proved themselves in combat, and are eligible to be promoted to higher ranking. This also enables them to carry specialized loadouts into the field. I've submitted proposals for possible specializations. Once they're approved, you can review and assign equipment to soldiers, or make it rank-wide at the outpost desk, assuming they have the requisite experience.
It's my top priority.
I'm glad we're in agreement. There are several other things I can think of that would ensure the best odds in the upcoming assault. Though, what I previously mentioned is the most pressing.
Is it important?
I wish to speak of some peripheral ways of gaining an edge on the enemy, such as upholding troop morale or recruiting outside of our usual parameters. It won't make or break the upcoming assault, but the information may prove useful to you.
At this point, I'll take all the help I can get.
Teresa, Lupe, and Cassandra have each shown a level of care for the individual well-being of our soldiers. Having pondered this, I concluded that soldier morale should not be discounted. A mess hall would allow for downtime and improve the mental fortitude of our troops for the next assault.
Oh, this sounds good.
Aside from the soldiers trained at your outposts, there are others out there willing to join the effort. Ones who don't fit our standard assignments. You can send out a call for such recruits over the radio at the War Planner's desk. Although, in order to find other kinds of specialists, we may need to approve it here in HQ first. Alternatively, your allied factions may send special units to join our army.
Good find. Anything else?
Finally, assaulting a location in the glowing sea will take the troops away from our territory. The gunners are likely on the lookout for such an opening, and may strike while our forces are occupied. Guards that stay behind will be able to defend the area, but to improve their effectiveness, you should consider the construction of watchtower plots. In truth, our position is growing stronger by the day. With enough attention, recruitment, and careful management, we'll be able to hold the territory with ease.
Whoa, you're excited. What is it?
The strategies we're discussing are ones I would have never been able to implement on my own, not with the militias I've gathered in the past. I relish the challenge, and the opportunity to put theory to practice. The more I see, the more I ascertain the true magnitude of your influence in the Commonwealth.
Thanks for your help.
This may take time, but not all of the things we've discussed are necessary for success. It's up to you which preparations are worth the time and resources. I will update your holotape to include the additional information. I'll get in touch once I've pinpointed the exact location for the assault. Your leadership continues to elevate us.
People are having to sleep in shifts. It's making everyone... I'm just so hungry all the time.
Just wanted to trade a few things.
Go ahead. We need more.
Chief, come in.
What is it?
By the reports I've been getting, I believe our troops are ready for a mission into the glowing sea. I have pinpointed the last forward camp the Gunners established to support their Stingray operation. It's a federal cache they believe contains a stockpile of fuel and components. You may begin the assault at any time you deem our forces ready to take the dangerous foray and win the battle against the Gunners.
Sounds good. Get the troops ready for the attack.
It's your call to make, Chief.
Our victorious leader. I assume you're looking for Salvador. As it so happens, when word reached us of your success in the glowing sea, he seemed overcome with some internal conflict. At least I assume that's what prompted him to start hogging my favorite spot on the roof, staring out on the horizon in a forlorn fashion, awaiting your return.
What's the matter?
I honestly couldn't say. I've gotten to know him somewhat since he's come to HQ, but the man remains very opaque. And I don't tend to pry. He may have something important to discuss in private. Or perhaps he simply has a flair for the dramatics. Or perhaps he simply likes bracing breeze up there.
Thanks. I'll go talk to him.
He's a curious man for certain. I, for one, hope he stays. He's a strategist, but lacking in bloodthirst. Perfect to head our military, even after this war is concluded. Well, don't let me keep you. Stay warm up there.
Hey there.
You've returned. I thought I had more time. It seems that you've improved beyond my expectations.
What are you doing out here?
Cassandra mentioned that she comes up here when she's in need of fresh air and a fresh perspective. It seemed appropriate.
Is everything all right? You seem upset.
Is that so? It wasn't my intention to give you the wrong impression. I am pleased with the outcome of the assault. After I finished decoding the last of the intel, and my other duties were seen to, I engaged myself with reading the report backlog in HQ. But familiarizing myself with your modus operandi, and that of your supporters, has only confused the issue further. I wish to ask you something directly. Have you ever had a partner in the field? Someone who covered you under fire? Someone you trusted with your life?
There's no one I'd rather have watching my back.
The work you do is dangerous. I'm not surprised to learn you've chosen to lean on others. I don't ask out of idle curiosity. Recent events have simply reminded me of an incident in my past. Strategy has always been my strong suit. Battles, big or small, convey a mechanical sense to me. I can calculate odds based on factors ranging from munition quality to weather conditions. Yet, I still found myself in a situation beyond my expertise. I was tracking a dangerous gang causing upheaval in nearby towns. Yet, despite the danger they posed, none of the civilians would direct me to them. They were too scared and paranoid. I recognize that in retrospect, but at the time, I found myself frustrated. I couldn't win a battle I couldn't find.
What did you do?
I found myself unable to act. But then, I met a young woman. She seemed to know someone in every settlement. And what's more, people trusted and spoke to her. We had the gang flushed out within the week. This woman was Teresa, and she proposed a partnership afterwards. Although I was reluctant, I could see the benefit. We worked together for a time before someone else joined us, lending us an unstoppable offense. We were able to take on bigger and bigger challenges. I'd grown comfortable.
What kind of work are we talking about?
Mercenary work would be the closest equivalent, but we rarely charged for our services. Each of us had our separate goals and motives, but the roads we took to achieve them were often shared. It made for a strong partnership. I recall a particular job. A group of raiders had tamed a Deathclaw and were using it to terrorize a local trading caravan. Amidst the days of strategizing, fine-tuning equipment, and the eventual chaotic yet well-orchestrated confrontation with the raiders, I had never had so much fun.
It sounds like you were really making a difference.
As I came to learn from the experience, working with other people makes you stronger, yes. But with the shared strength come shared failures. When I was alone, I could account for my own weakness, but the longer we worked together, the less predictable the results became. Eventually, things went very wrong. And no matter how many times I've analyzed it, I still couldn't tell you if the blame lay with me or with my partners. Regardless, we parted ways after that.
Why are you telling me all of this?
What you've built here, it is unquantifiably bigger than what my partners and I could do. The potential for upheaval is greater than ever. You are changing the Commonwealth, permanently. You and the Gunners have waged an escalating war on one another. Whether you win or lose, I see no future in which things return to normal. When we met, I requested that you commit to restoring stability to the Commonwealth. Now that I have nothing left to teach you, I want you to answer me, truthfully. Can you do it?
Are you afraid?
In the short time I've known you, you've established and raised a competent military. They're supplied by your network of settlements, coordinated by HQ. Despite the Gunners' overwhelming force, you held back the tide and then turned it on them. Only just now, you led a strike force to the glowing sea to cripple their latest tactic. And should they be defeated, you will remain in the Commonwealth victorious. Your leadership unquestioned. Yes, I am afraid. Which is why I ask if you truly wish for stability in the Commonwealth.
Better future is all I ever wanted.
An admirable ideal. But can you trust that it alone is enough to continue guiding this organization? A complex system will always fail in complex ways. You do not only have yourself to account for. You are a stabilizing element for now, yes. But for how long? Your lifespan is limited. Even amidst the other uncertainties, your death is inevitable. What will happen to this organization after you are gone? I have come to realize that my question was a pointless one. You cannot make any guarantees. Any pledge to reestablish stability is impossible to uphold.
I wish there was something I could say that would convince you.
There's no need for that. I have already made up my mind to stay. There was a time when I followed orders blindly, and later came to regret it. After that, I never thought I'd willingly take another's commands again, let alone to find myself questioning the worth of balance, or what a stable commonwealth truly looks like. But having met you, seeing what you can do, it has forced me to reevaluate priorities I've held for almost as long as I've existed. What you've accomplished here goes against the balance I've worked so hard to preserve, and yet I find myself believing in your vision. So, I wish to remain as your head of military and continue to aid you to the best of my ability.
Glad to have you with me.
Thank you for listening. It is now time for us to return to our duties.